I'm super excited. Thanks, guys, for jumping on. Or a lot of people are probably catching the recording because this is at noon, but I'm guessing y'all are like snowed in like us. I mean, we're not snowed in, it's just cold, but we opted to keep the kids home and work from home and stuff today because no one wants to be out in that junk. Um, but I'm really excited. We asked Deanne to speak on follow-ups because she is probably the strongest human being I know in the entire company, probably on following up. Like she is so, so good at it. And you guys have heard it a million times. Fortune is in the follow-up. And so we asked her just to chat and walk us through. It's going to be really quick. Like she's not going to bore you to death with training or spend the whole half hour doing that. I told her, give us some of your top tips, tell us what to do, and then let's spend some time working because I don't want to Zoom everyone to death, right? And so she's going to get us in the trenches working, and I'm going to I'm going to get out of her way.
Sounds good. Yes. Like Brianna said, though, I'm just gonna spend honestly the first like 5 to 10 minutes maybe giving you guys my tips on follow-ups, and then if there's any questions, and then we're gonna get to work and do follow-ups. So I want us to have a really intentional next like 30-ish minutes. So first thing I'm gonna say is that most people do not respond to you on your first message. A lot of people are like, oh, they're ghosting me, they're not interested, they didn't respond because they're not interested. And that is most of the time. Yes, that is sometimes the case, but a lot of times it's not actually the case. One, like their kid might have had their phone and they swiped the message away, or they opened it. Like I had a lady tell me the other day, like, oh, I never actually saw your message. My kid must have opened it. Like that happens more often than you think. And also, most people are not on their phone in Messenger as much as we are. So they might not like actually see your message for a couple days. So following up is so, so important. And I want to tell you right now, you are not being annoying in the follow up. You are being professional. You are being very professional because you have a gift to offer people. And so when you follow up with them, asking if they're still interested or whatever the follow up may be, you are being professional and this is your job, right? So I just want you to keep that in the back of your head that you're not being annoying. So when I'm just going to explain like kind of how I do follow up. So if you don't know me, but I've been in network marketing for 10 years. I've done this for a really long time. And my follow up game though has almost been the same for these last like 10 years. I am very simple when it comes to tracking and doing the things, but I will tell you right now, if you are not tracking, that needs to be something that you start doing because if you do not track your invites, what you're doing, you can't have anybody to follow up with. Okay. So a couple things that I do is I literally just use a planner and this is how I track my invites and my follow-ups all on the same thing. Okay. So that has the date right here. And then I just write their name down on it when I send them their initial invite. Okay. I do my follow-ups usually about 2 to 3 days, mostly usually 3 days later. I send my initial follow-up. And I usually just send one follow up message. So I send my invite, right? And then like 3 days later, I send a follow up. I'm going to read you guys what my follow up says. And I can share it later too if you guys want, or if someone can type fast, I can type it in the thing. But it just says, "Hey Kelsey, truly hope I'm not bugging you. I never want to do that." And then it has like one of those face emojis that you're hiding behind it. I know life is busy though and messages get missed, so I wanted to check back in quick to see if you saw my last message and had any interest in learning more. If it's not your thing, absolutely no worries at all. Just let me know either way. So I feel like because I'm giving them an out, like I'm saying, like, it's okay, tell me no, I get more responses from that instead of just saying, like, hey, just checking to see if you saw my last message. So I like to add a little bit of more to it. And really, I like to say, like, I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to come across as that annoying girl in your inbox that always messages you. And so I'm blunt about it. And I say that, like, if I am annoying you, please tell me. Like, if you don't want me to ever message you again, I'd rather know that than to continue messaging you because I'm not going to stop messaging people until they either literally tell me no and to stop messaging them or they order something from me because I know what this gift is to offer to people. So that's the follow-up message that I usually use. I send it again about 3 days after I send the initial message. And then following up from there though is pretty simple, but it's also even more important. Okay. So when I am talking to somebody, again, I use my tracker here and if I'm having a conversation with them, like we are talking about, their goals or whatever, I star their name. I put a star next to their name. So like when I'm going back to do my follow-ups a couple days later to see, oh, did anybody respond to those messages? I can quickly, if I'm like, oh my God, I'm running short on time, go to those starred ones and just check in on them first to see if they messaged anything. And then like when I send someone a link, I circle their name So again, I can go back and I can do a quick search through my book and be like, oh yeah, there's like 3 circled names. They haven't ordered yet. I better go back and follow up with them. So any system is fine. I used to use highlighters. Like I've done things over time, but the most important thing is to have a system in place so that you're not just like looking at this huge list of names and being like, oh gosh, who did I talk to again? What did I do? And then I crossed their name out on here when they told me no, or if they didn't respond after that second follow-up, I crossed their name off. Okay. Now, what I think is really important though from here is yes, you crossed their name off. There are no, either they told you no, or maybe they just wanted to be in SIP Society for now, something like that. But you have to have a follow-up list. Okay. So I have it in my phone under the notes section. It says future invites. And if you pull up, I have all these names on here of people that have told me either no, not right now. Maybe they were interested months ago and ghosted me after that, but I know they were interested at one point. They go on this list. Okay. And then I invite from this list when we have big, like if we have deals coming up, things like that, or if they told me to follow up and not right now, but maybe in like 2 months. And I'll put like I have this girl's name and then I have March next to it. So I know that in March I'm going to reach out to her again because she told me in a couple months. So I think this future list is very important because otherwise you invite all these people tell you no, not right now. And then where do you put them? Like you probably won't go back through this list again to like search and be like, oh yeah, who was that? Having this future invite list, I think is super important when it comes to follow-ups. Okay. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about that? We good? Okay. I mean, that is honestly the simplicity behind following up is just to have a tracking system and to remind yourself that you're not being annoying. Okay. So for me, again, it's just like that starred thing so that I can go and find the people that I have conversations going when I'm trying to do things quickly. But you have to follow up with everybody. And then one thing I will say yet is when you are following up, like let's say I invited somebody, they opened it, didn't respond, right? They ghosted me. I sent my follow up, same thing, they didn't respond. I don't go back and invite those people in like 2 weeks to a month or something. I usually try to connect with them, right? So when they don't respond to me and I go back in and I'm like, oh, they didn't respond, whatever, I cross their name off, I then go to their profile. And if it's somebody that I'm like, God, I really like this person, like they have a good vibe, like I just really feel like I want to talk to this person, I will then put them on my connections list and I will connect with them. So then I just start doing normal things, right? Replying to stories, things like that, to get in their inbox or something else related, not to Bravenly. Because people know that you care. Like if they see you care, they're going to be more open to wanting to talk to you about things, right? There are some people that I'm like, you're not really my person, so it's okay if you ghosted me. Like I have done that before because when you start inviting and talking to a lot of people, it's a lot of messages that you're going to be sending out. So I just want to say that, like, if you're getting ghosted a lot, right, people, take the invite out of there and stop inviting, stop talking to them about that, and just go back to connecting with them and being a normal human being and not trying to get a sale out of it. Okay. Cool beans. Okay, so we are just going to work then for the next 20 minutes. So I want you to go to your invites that you sent earlier this week. So like if you sent messages on Monday and you haven't sent a follow-up message with them yet, start doing that today. So you could do Monday, Tuesdays. Honestly, you could probably even do Wednesdays because it's been 2 days. So I would go work on those right now. And then also what I want you to do is go, if you have any people that you have had conversations with and you were talking about products or information stuff, follow up with them. And just again, simply if you sent them the info about Accelerate Trio and they haven't responded, just a very simple, hey, I know life's busy, just checking to see if you checked out that info I sent you. Doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be crazy. Just send something like that. Okay. So you guys can go work on that. I'm going to work here as well. So if you have questions, you can always put them in the chat or unmute and ask as well. Side note, just want to say something quick. If you have somebody that hasn't responded to you in a while, like let's say they were really interested, and then they ghost you, we have lots of those people that do that, right? I highly recommend sending a voice clip to them and like let them hear in your like in your voice that you're like not just trying to sell them something like, hey, I know you mentioned that you're really struggling with, not fitting into your jeans and feeling so bloated. I know you're hesitant. I'd love to talk more to you about that. Like, what's holding you back? And ask them like because a lot of times they will spill their beans to you and then it's like okay then you can find a way around it, so I think voice clips are really important for that.
I don't know if you guys saw the chat, but Deanne said she's staying on and finishing up her follow-ups. But you guys, if you're done, you don't have to stay on. I'll probably stop the recording just because then we're not listening. I mean, people probably already checked out of the recording at this point. But one thing I wanted to give you a suggestion on too, what I started doing is in your ACE app, on like your main home screen, you can put your own gems. So what I like to do is like I actually like how Deanne was talking about. If you've messaged someone like multiple times and they have ghosted you and you have not tried to break up the conversation and do like a connecting piece, I actually have one called Story Connection. And so it's one of like someone who's watching my story, but they will not respond to me, right? I like send them a thing about like, thanks so much for watching my story. You know, you're seeing a lot about what's going on in our life. Like, how have you been? Or something like that, right? So you could even put your follow-ups like here. I mean, I do in that, like actually I have one right here, follow up. And so you could put them in there if you want. That way it's nice because if you're toggling between like, okay, do I want this to be a connecting based follow up? Do I want this to be a product based follow up or a link based follow up? I also have in the 30-minute build your business like ACE thing. If you go in that follow up folder, I do have ones for like people you sent your link to, people who you were talking product and they ghosted you, people you talked brand partner with. And so you can also utilize that. I love using ACE on my keyboard and even putting in my own stuff so that I have it super handy and can just click a button and it populates.